What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your boy, Domuto. We back with another video today. Watching Beyond Dragon Ball Super Destroyer Beerus versus Ligor begins. Hakaisen Ultra Beerus reemerges. Okay. Who y'all got winning? Predicts. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, that Hakaisen form. Ultra Beerus. Hakaisen Ultra Beerus form. I don't know, man. I got Ultra Beerus winning this one. But Ligor gonna put up a fight though. That nigga looks strong. So if you ready to get into it, I'm ready. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to UnrealEntGaming, and let's go.
As our story now continues, following the initial battle involving Universe 19's God of Destruction Tigron having to battle against Ultimate Beast Gohan, as with Universe 7's God of Destruction Beerus now preparing himself to do battle against Universe 20's God of Destruction Ligor, was when Vegeta went on to then respond, "I don't like this, as there is something about that God of Destruction that leaves me to believe that he is far stronger than either one of us can imagine that he would be, which ultimately isn't a good thing when considering on who he's about to go on and fight," as Goku then went on to chime in, "So then you can sense it too then, can't you? For it's a strange feeling that I'm also sensing, but I just hope that those two don't go and overdo it out there. Otherwise it'll more than likely spell disaster for us here as well, especially if we end up getting caught in the middle of all of that as well," as Angel General then went on to spawn in by responding, "Well, I wouldn't grow too concerned with what is about to take place here between them if I were you, for Lord Ligor does not intend for this battle to spill over anywhere else aside from keeping it directly contained for where it needs to be, and so I wouldn't worry too much about this coming conflict here if I were you," as Beerus went on to then prepare himself in battling by responding, "Now before we engage in this battle, there is something that I need to know, and I demand for you to tell me here and now, because while I am not one to pry into the affairs of other destroyers, this here is a little different, and so now tell me," Beerus says, "you went on to mention something very vague about there being some kind of a tournament on the horizon, along with having to mention something about these so-called dark gods who just may possibly go on to exist, and so because of this I now want to know directly from the source, what exactly was it that both you and Lord Tigron had learned through your angels that had raised such concern, and what was it that had prompted you to begin scouting the multiverse and categorizing which universe was considered to be a friend and which universe would go and be considered a foe? What did you learn?" Beerus went on to then question, as this behavior isn't typical to that of a god of destruction, and so I want to know just a little more about what you heard before you and I can proceed in engaging our power, and so now why don't you go and do us both that favor and start talking about what you learned, Destroyer, with Ligor responding, "Very well then, God of Destruction, for it started during our search as Lord Tigron and I had scanned across the multiverse with our angels. We shortly soon after had encountered something very disturbing, for it began with a sudden interruption on the angelic staffs with the strange interference, as it was only through this our angels had briefly caught a glimpse just for a moment into something massive taking place," Ligor continues, "for what it was that we were told can only be described as a tournament having to take place, one that was far greater than anyone could have ever have seen, as it would only go as far as to remind me of the Tournament of Power that was shown having to take place before my time, only this one was on a much larger scale," Ligor says, "for every universe, perhaps even every reality, had appeared to have been represented during this omniversal event, but what caught our attention the most wasn't just the event itself," Ligor continues, "but we also noticed strange anomalies within this unknown world, anomalies to which had only resembled some kind of gods of destruction, only these didn't seem to originate from any of the current universes that we happen to know of, which is why we wanted to go as far as to distinguish on which universes were on the side of good and which universes were on the side of darkness," with Beerus responding, "Wait, so the foreshadowing that both you and Lord Tigron had been told about just so happens to involve some kind of an interdimensional tournament that seemingly spans across multiple realities that goes far beyond our present comprehension, and with participants who also appear to resemble that of other unknown gods of destruction who originate from other worlds far beyond our our own. So now I see on why the two of you were scouting each of our universes. For you both wanted to go and see on which universes can go and be trusted, and which universes you needed to go and watch out for, just in case an event like this were to take place, didn't you? But of course, as Vegeta went on to also quickly chime back in, wait a second, another tournament similar to the first tournament of power that we had competed in? So then those Veer creatures in Universe 16 were right. So that explains the timeline which I saw where I mastered my Ultra Ego form, with Goku responding, now hold on, did Lord Ligor also just mention there being Dark Gods of Destruction that were shown being present at the tournament too?
Yeah.
And they don't appear to originate from this timeline or any other known multiverse either, because if not, then where did they come from? With Beerus responding, an omniversal tournament with possible corrupted gods of destruction who are a part of it, you say? Well, now you have my attention, and while I find your discovery to be a very intriguing one, now I want to go and find out more from what you were told. To which, as Beerus was then shown dashing towards Ligor, was when Ligor went on to then respond, well, in order for you to go and know the rest, then let us first see on where this battle will take us both, because while I welcome the challenge in seeing where you currently stand when compared to me, heed my words, Destroyer, for this battle will not be ending in your favor, no matter how much you think that it will. And so now let us proceed. To which, as Beerus was then shown attempting to strike
Ligor confident with it.
Dodging each and every single
I'm intrigued with this Omniverse tournament too. I'm sorry, I was just
really know about this one, you guys.
Into it. Hold on.
Do you think that Lord Beerus is going
Dark
to be able to
God,
pull
the
off a
Dark
victory
God of
here
Destruction
against
and
Lord
everything?
Ligor out there? With Whis responding, well, usually I can already tell on where a battle might go based on who and what is shown having to take place in accordance to what I already know, but, well, this battle, however, might be a little tricky, Whis continues, and especially since not much is even known about these two newly appointed gods of destruction, and while I have no doubt that they are both incredibly powerful in their own unique ways, what I do believe is that in order for Lord Beerus to truly walk away from this battle with a victory, then I have no doubt that he will have to go all out and use his full power against Lord Ligor if he wishes to best him during this contest, because even while they are both currently engaged, I surely don't believe that it'll be an easy one for Lord Beerus to win either, as Ligor went on to then respond, though your eyes are very sharp and with your instincts very aware in pinpointing your openings in order to try and better your opponent, but as sharp as you may be, I can only assure you by saying that you are not going to be sharp enough, nor will you be responsive enough to be able to compete against me, Destroyer. And so now tell me, have you had enough, or do you still wish to engage me, because I will only continue to increase the pain the longer you wish for this contest to last between us, Lord Beerus. Well, if that's how you intend on doing this, Beerus went on to then quickly respond upon being shown leaping on up and creating an energy blast within his hands, then while you claim to still hold the edge over me during this battle, then allow for me to go and quickly change the tides between us, then, Destroyer. But then, it was only just before Beerus had even realized, with Ligor being shown dashing on up and having to knee Beerus in the stomach and preventing him from charging up his attack, was when Ligor then went on to respond, and I hope that you were able to come to realize that as quick as you may appear to be, and as responsive as you may try to appear in attempting to attack me, you will always, with this being one of many examples, come to find out that even your fastest responses and your best counterattacks will not work here against me. And what makes you grow so sure of yourself in this contest and already assuming that you have me all figured out, Destroyer? Beerus questions, with Ligor responding, well, simple, and one that you will soon come to find out, but while you refuse anything less than by having me show you the latter extent of what my power is truly made of, then even this I will grant you, for I want you to truly understand on why I am the way I am when compared to the rest. And so while your attempts are extreme but also expected, Ligor continues upon being shown knocking Beerus down onto the ground, and especially when given the nature of who you are by your title, you are truly an exceptional and worthy opponent, and as your fighting spirit is far more in tune with the nature of who you are at your core. But no matter how many times you stand back up and try, I am not going to let you push forward with any of your counterattacks here against me, Lord Beerus, for you may in fact be driven towards victory, but every time you rise, I will be standing right there ready to bring you back down again, for I do just so happen in fact respect your will to continue, but even you must realize that there are limits to what you can endure, Destroyer, and while you may assume that you will be strong enough to outlast this next attack, maybe now now, you will go on to fully understand what it was that I said the hard way and stand down. To which, as Beerus was then shown putting his guard up, was when Beerus then went on to respond, "Oh, curse him? No. I will not break and I will not allow for him to best me, as I'll rather die before I let that happen." But then, it was only just then within that very moment, as all 5 of Ligor's energy blasts were then shown having to slam directly into Beerus, was when Goku then went on to chime back in. "So man, did you guys just see that too? Because as crazy as it is to see Lord Beerus be treated like this in a battle, I guess this only goes to show on how strong that other God of Destruction is, because there is no doubt that his speed, his accuracy, along with his power, are on a totally different level, and so this isn't looking good." Whoa, he didn't even try to dodge it, because Lord Beerus knew that he wasn't going to be fast enough to try and avoid those in time before they landed. But how bad is the damage that Beerus had taken is the real question now, Gohan says, with Whis chiming back in. "Well, I'm not quite sure on the extent of the damage done, but this certainly doesn't look good for Lord Beerus out there, I'm afraid." To which it was only just upon with the smoke now beginning to settle beneath Ligor, as Ligor went on to then proceed by looking on down, was when Ligor then went on to respond, "Now, while your pride along with your driven nature are most definitely very admirable, there is no doubt in my mind that your efforts deserve to be acknowledged here during our contest, for I share a deep respect for you in giving me the best that you can possibly offer. However, God of Destruction, you may not want to hear it, but I believe that it is time for you to stand down, for I share no true desire on hurting you any further." Ligor continues,
shut
"That is
up.
the level of respect that I
That's
share
Beerus.
towards you as a destroyer, for there is no such shame in admitting when you've reached your limits, as even the strongest must know when it's time to concede, for this isn't about dishonor, but it's more about knowing when enough is enough, as you have already proven yourself to be far stronger than how it was when I had originally met you, and so it is for the best," Ligor proceeds, "for there is no shame in giving in so that you may go and live to fight another day, God of Destruction, and so you should know this better than anyone by now, for you are indeed a noble and fearsome destroyer, and one that I would gladly stand alongside by in any battle that we find ourselves in, and so while you have proven your standing to me as being a fearless and unrelenting God of Destruction, just as your reputation had described you in being, and so while there is still the option to go and do so, it is better for us to cease this battle now, for there is nothing left for us to prove," as Beerus was then shown having to emerge from the smoke by then responding, "No, I can't just go and simply relinquish my status against you like this, for I am not without continuing this fight, and I am not going to stop now just because you managed to catch me by surprise, and so do not treat me like I'm some kind of an amateur here, destroyer." "Well, this is not a matter of me looking down on you as some kind of an amateur, God of Destruction," Ligor responds, "but this is more about knowing when it's wise to stand down at the face of a greater challenge, that you will ultimately therefore grow to become stronger and carry on to fight another day, as you have proven to us that you are not just the God who is worthy of every title that you earn," Ligor continues, "but by showing me your best, you have also proven that your heart knows no fear, and even while insisting to continue to wage battle here against me, which is why I believe that I have seen enough here today, for I am hoping that you will only continue to grow more and more powerful as time goes on, so that way you may be ready for once we need." "That's far enough there, God of Destruction," Beerus.
There we go, finally. Tell that nigga shut the fuck up.
Ligor in responding, "And so now don't go and get ahead of yourself here just yet, because what I would like to know is just who exactly told you that I was finished," Beerus says, "because while you may have assumed that this was going to be the truest extent of what my power is fully capable of, you can think again, because while I realize that I am no match for you the way I am at the moment, there is but one other very important detail that you should be very much aware of, destroyer," with Ligor responding, "Now, while I recognize your passion to want to go and still continue this contest, you are making a very grave mistake by insisting to continue, Lord Beerus." "The only mistake that I've made," Beerus went on to then respond upon being shown having to stand back up is not considering on using this power from the very moment that we started to engage, but while I also acknowledge your strength as being far greater than what I could have anticipated for it to be, I will not kneel before your power until I've shown you mine. And so for what it's worth, and while you are unlike any of the other destroyers that I faced before, I will now hereby show you on why I'm not either, with Ligor responding, interesting. For I can sense an immediate shift within your spirit along with your power, and so whatever it was that you were hiding from me during our battle, I will hereby welcome and allow to transpire, as I am not only ready to see this for myself, but I'm eager to also engage against it. To which Beerus did not go on to waste any more time, because with the gigantic ore explosion then being shown taking place was when Gohan went on to then chime back in. I knew that Lord Beerus was going to go as far as to pull this out of the bag against Lord Ligor, but I didn't expect that he would have to need this so soon out there against him, which only goes as far as to speak volumes on how powerful that God of Destruction must be out there for him to use this. Oh, incredible, Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, but since when was Lord Beerus able to generate this much power from? And more importantly is, what exactly is he about to go and show us? With Goku responding, so this must have been what Lord Beerus had went on to discover when training against Gohan. And if this is going to be anything like we think that it's going to be, then whatever Lord Beerus is about to go out of his way to reveal out there against Lord Ligor is undoubtedly going to be his absolute strongest, and if that's the case, then I think that we're all in for a ride here, guys. Wait a second, Vini, God of Destruction, Tigron went on to then also respond.
Yeah, Tigron.
Are you sensing what I'm sensing coming from Lord Beerus out there as well? Because surely this isn't what we both assume for this to actually be now, could it? For if this is true, then that would mean that he would be the first among the original destroyers to actually wield such a power, and so can it really be true? Well, your shock comes as much as mine does, Angel Vini went on to then respond, for I do believe that whatever Lord Beerus is about to go and unveil to Lord Ligor will be exactly what you assume for it to be, Lord Tigron, as Ligor went on to then respond, so this is what you've been hiding, for I should have known that you would try and push yourself to go this far, as I was told that you were always one to go as far as to push the boundaries of your limits into ascending beyond what most would consider to be impossible, but even now I did not anticipate for you to have gone this far in seeking a far greater evolution, but I am, however, honestly glad that you did, because I was expecting for you to have taken my advice when I first met you back on your planet when we did, and now that I can see that you have taken my words to heart, the time has now come for you to show me on exactly what it is that you are capable of in battle now, because now that I can see that you've went and achieved the impossible, I want to hereby see the full and unrestricted depths of what your full power is truly made of, Ligor continues, and especially now that you will be fighting me while at the absolute peak of your true and ultimate power, Lord Beerus, and so because of that, I await to see on what you are capable of in battle, to which as Beerus' transformation was now shown being complete, it was only within that very moment where Beerus had gone as far as to now unveil his ultimate ultra form for the first time against Ligor, as Beerus went on to then respond, now that's much better, for I knew that from the very beginning, once I started to fight you, that conventional tactics really wouldn't work very well here against someone like you, for your combat prowess and your hyper sense of movement awareness is, dare I even say, far more effective than my own, but since you are far stronger than I originally had assumed for you to be, it was only right for me to have gone as far as to go all out here against you, since I now know that this will be what it'll take for me to ensure my victory against you here, God of Destruction. For what you are seeing take place before you is a level of power that even the gods themselves struggle to comprehend, Beerus continues, let alone even going as far as to try to attain themselves, for this ultra form is an amalgamated power that combines both the nature of my god godhood, along with the principles of Ultra Instinct, and giving birth to a new and far more mightier fighting form than ever before. And while you are with the exception of Gohan, the second to have now come face to face with such a power as this one, I will now go as far as to assure you here and now that although you may have bested me from within the moment, there will be no amount of force that you will be able to dish out that will prevent the annihilation that you have coming, God of Destruction. And since I now know that this was what you wanted to go and see from me, allow for me to go and now show you the very power in which went on to cripple Lord Reno during our rematch, along with going as far as to show you a power which even for a god as mighty as yourself will not be strong enough to go and handle on their own, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Legendary God Saga Manga Chapter number 6 special then comes to a close.
I can wait to see this fight. I cannot wait to see this fight, bro. Who y'all got winning? Cause Ligor's still strong as fuck. I ain't gonna lie. Maybe Beerus got it. It might be a good fight. I can't wait to see it, man. Then I can't wait to see that fucking Omniverse tournament too. That's gonna be fire. I started the Dark Realm story, so I have it probably at the end of the video somewhere. And y'all want to watch that? Let me know. If y'all want to watch that, just watch my last reaction, I guess, from yesterday or the day before, whatever y'all watch my reaction. I don't know, man. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.